Why is it so hard to get American women to commit?
Why is it so hard to get American women to commit? Well, the fact that the question was even phrased that way shows me you need to read the book. Because if you had read the book, then you wouldn't be trying to lock any woman down to a commitment. I mean, if you look at the movies from 60, 70, 80 years ago, you had the most eligible bachelors, the guys that were gentlemen, they were successful, they were respectful around women, kids loved them, everybody loved them, they're the man about town, and all the women are competing for the most eligible bachelors' attention. And what you see in news and media and TV, and I've been talking about this ever since I started doing this, is that it's the opposite archetype now. The roles are completely opposite. Now you got the women behaving very stoic, very masculine, very indifferent, and then you got the guys acting like overly emotional fucking pussies and acting like a chick, like an insecure little 12-year-old girl. And like the sitcoms, what do you got? You got the bumbling, stupid husband, and he needs his smart, stoic, masculine wife to always get him out of trouble or get him out of jams or things he gets himself into. And that kind of thinking, what can I do to get an American woman to commit to me? That's a guy that doesn't understand how attraction works. He can't tell if the woman that he's with is attracted to him. Often, very much like the guys in the red pill community, can't tell. They have no idea. They're unable to read when a woman is truly into them. But if this particular guy that wrote this in actually understood my book, he'd be only going out on dates with women that are really super into him, that are normal, that will pursue if you do the things that I talk about. And as time goes by, typically if you follow what's in the book, by week 6, week 7, the girl is going to be in love with you and is going to be trying to lock you down to a commitment. The fact that you're focused and worried about locking a woman down to a commitment tells me that you pursue too much, you call too much, you text too much, you worry about where you stand constantly with women. You get upset if she doesn't return your call or text in a timely manner. You get butthurt. You express the butthurt. You express being perturbed. I'm sure all three of you girls have met plenty of dudes over the years that it's almost like they're stalkerish once you go out with them, or you give them a little bit of signs that you may be interested, and then I mean, you guys can probably share some experience on because you've been on the receiving end of that. What is it? Have you've met guys that you're like, wow, he's really handsome and seems like a good dude, and then within a real short period of time, you're like, yikes.
For sure.
Yes.
It's like a snap of a finger. You're like, who is this guy? And he turns ugly automatically. It's like they're super cool, like very smooth. Then once you give them like the idea of like, oh, she's interested. Oh my gosh. Texting, asking when we're hanging out. When we do hang out, it's like, okay, it's cool. Right after the first date, it's like, so when's the next time? When am I going to see you again? You were so pretty. Oh my gosh. I can't wait to see you. You're so cool. And I'm just like,
So dinner
And
tomorrow.
then you make it
chill.
apparent that you're not really that interested, and they still keep going. Like I
Yeah.
said, men are terrible when it comes to social cues. Like I mentioned another in one of the videos. If you after the second time and the girl makes it apparent that she doesn't like you, and you still go after the second time, like no.
Like,
No.
even if the date did go good and I was like, okay, I could see myself hanging out with him again. But, like, after the first date just starts spamming, I'm just like, man, I don't even want to see you in person now. Like, I'm a little scared. Like, it's giving, like, creep, you know?
I mean, for me, it's even before the first date when people are just having conversations with themselves. That's when I'm like, I don't even think this first date's happening because they're just texting and texting and texting, and I haven't even responded. It just keeps coming and coming and coming and
Yeah.
coming. It's like I can't even get a word in, and they're like on this high of just texting, and they think it's going so great. It's going so great, right? Oh my God, there's a great connection here. I'm like, is there?
So
The
one-sided.
only connection I think that's great is my cell service, not what's going on between us. But that's fine. I mean, it's a complete red flag, but even past the flag, I'm at a loss for words. There's so many men that think it's okay to just drool over women
Bombard
and
you.
think that like being a persistent poppy is gonna work. Like,
Or do things out of desperation.
yeah, like give me some space. Like I need to like process like what
space.
high is enough.
I need some
Like
time to work on myself.
I
I'm
need
not ready for a relationship.
I've even had someone like after the third date, like, I don't want to scare you or anything, but I think I'm falling in love. And I'm like,
what?
Bro,
I've known you for
calm
12 minutes.
calm down.
I don't even know
Please.
you.
Thinking about marriage, like, oh, I see a perfect like future for us. I'm like,
He's projecting his
No.
fantasy.
I'm gonna cry. What is this?
Oh my god.
Like, no, I don't want your kids.
Yes,
Please
yes.
stop. No, I don't want to
even
meet your
Don't
grandma.
even bring up about having kids to begin
Yeah.
with. You're going way too ahead of yourself, buddy.
I mean, it's the truth. Like these guys really don't get it. They think that they play out this whole like fantasy, and they think it's
That's what it is, just a fantasy. Nothing more, nothing less.
A projected fantasy at that.
I mean, if it happens, good for you. But if it's not happening, like, dude, this is reality. Like, you can't always expect everything to happen.
Well, and I also think that they really do believe that they can convince us that this is going to happen,
Using logic and reason.
and
Talk you into being in love with him.
they don't understand that we have our own minds, our own opinions, and we have like a say in our future. It's not like back in the day where, we get sold for a goat or two. Like, no, we get to choose who we want to be with.
Yeah, whether they like it or not.
Right.
So it makes you, Caroline, you were mentioning it makes you feel unsafe when a guy becomes that way.
Yeah.
What is it that so when you start feeling unsafe, what is it that you worry that he's going to do if he behaves that way?
I just feel like he's gonna turn like a little stalkerish.
Yeah.
Like if I'm not answering, are you gonna try to find out where I live to get an answer? Show up at my door like, oh, I don't want to be weird, but like you weren't answering. I'm just making sure you were okay. It's just like, okay.
I
That's
actually
the
had that
phase.
happen to me once, believe it or not. So long story short, so there was this guy that I went out with, and basically he made me food, which I appreciate because I love food. However, he gave me food with his Tupperware, and I kept forgetting, honestly, to call him back because at that time I was working 2 jobs, and I was tired. And honestly, I didn't have
kept
much.
forgetting to call him back.
And also at the
obviously, it was
same
a big
time-
priority for you.
Yeah, is that also at the same time I didn't really have much of an attraction to him anymore at that point, but I did have to
That's
return
why you didn't call him back.
But I did have to return the Tupperware because I'm not that type of person that just takes people's shit. Like, I am gonna give it back to you eventually.
Bitch stole
Right?
my Tupperware,
And so he doesn't
man.
use it as a reason
And
to
so-
see
My
you.
favorite Tupperware.
And so what happened was I had to stay past time at the job I was in at the time. And I was actually, as a matter of fact, going to call him that day. But I got out of work a little later than usual. This was like around midnight, mind you. Not even 5 minutes after I come back home, I get a call from him. And I'm like, hey, dude, I was about to call you because I wanted to return your Tupperware. He was like, I'm already outside. And mind you, I have cameras outside of the perimeter of my house. For safety reasons, obviously. My worry was like, oh, my parents are actually
Jocelyn's
gonna
got
see
a 50 cal in the
random
living
ass,
room.
like my worry was that my parents were gonna see this random ass car showing up in the middle of the night, and they're gonna ask questions, and they're like, hey,
Are you selling drugs, Jocelyn?
yeah, I don't know, but it's just like, first of all, you don't do that. You're like, this guy was not my boyfriend. If you were my boyfriend, then by all means come whenever you want because, obviously you're more than welcome to be in my house. But if we're not dating, if we're not even to that point, we're just going out, you need to have that boundary. Like, that kind of, bothered me a little. I just got home at that moment, not even 5 minutes. He was already in the front of my house, showing up unannounced. I'm just like, dude.
And that's like
I
your
will
sacred
return your
space.
Tupperware. Relax.
Yeah.
And it's your home. Like, that's your sacred space. Like,
Yeah.
that's a boundary nobody should be crossing.
Yeah, and good for him. He got his Tupperware back. I
But-
was gonna give it back to him regardless.
Like, fuck the Tupperware.
But you finally, okay, dude, like, you finally got the Tupperware back, but guess what? This girl just lost attraction to you, which is something that you did not want.
Yeah.
So, congratulations.
Well, I hope he
Did he
can
keep,
get what he
did
wants.
he keep calling after that?
He did. And I stopped.
You just ghosted him?
Blocked.
I just did not talk to him anymore. And what really sucked was that he was, like, someone that I knew through another friend of mine. So, you know, yeah, that was bad. But yeah, ever since then I have not
So you
heard from
ghosted
him
him?
anymore. I just like answered him
She's
one
stalling.
time and that was it. Like I
So
honestly
you
was
ghosted
not.
him. You ghosted him.
She's too nice. She wouldn't do that.
You ghosted him.
No.
Did you
no,
tell him
I
just, hey,
literally
bro,
told-
I'm not
I literally
interested?
told him I was not interested in him anymore. You know, because I actually was honest with him. I told him I did not like that. You know, you crossed some boundaries, and you know, with that, you know, we could still be friends, but no.
Oh, you friend zoned him.
Well, he did not. You know, he did some really sus stuff. Why would I want to be around someone who's that, you know, who has that desperation?
Why would you want to be friends with him then?
I mean,
So
I
you
haven't
really
heard
didn't
from
want-
the guy in a while. He's
Okay.
clearly butthurt. So, I mean, I don't.
So
I-
the friend zone was just a way to get rid of him. You weren't really interested in being pals.
I mean, you know, we did go out on a few dates. At one point, I was interested until he did some weird stuff.
Long excuses.
It's not long excuses.
The
It's just
longer the
don't be
excuse, the bigger
weird.
the lie.
Like literally, it's like obviously I'm gonna not want to. I mean, I am honest, so
The bottom line is you weren't interested. You ghosted him, friend zoned him, made it clear.
past tense was interested. Past tense.
But you ghosted him because you were no longer interested.
Yeah. And then once he kept calling, I'm like, hey, dude, like I am, you know, I'm gonna be honest with you, not interested anymore. You crossed some boundaries.
And he
Yeah.
got the message after that and went away.
He still tried to message me.
Damn, he was persistent. See, that's what happens. He saw
Yeah.
too many movies that said just, and then he probably went to all the women in his life. Oh, this girl says, then all the women went, well, you should call Jocelyne and tell her how you really feel. Tell her how much you like her. Then she'll know. She'll know how much you like her. You guys have the same fucking canned advice. It cracks me up because I do phone sessions with dude, and they'll be like, "Great," and then a couple weeks go by, and then he starts talking to the women, his mother or his aunt or other women, female coworkers, and because the guy's he's looking for a reason to continue pursuing and calling, and I've told him that you just need to let her be, man. Just let her be. You hit the ball over the net. She never responded last time. If she likes you, eventually she'll get in touch, or you'll never hear from her again. And then he's like, I got to say the right thing. If I just said the right combination of words, then it'll change her mind. And then, so he's looking for somebody to validate that. And then he talks to the women, or he talks to the mother, his mother. Oh, you need to let her know how much you like her and how much you feel. That's really important. I just don't think she knows how much you like her.
The thing is, I don't think their mom even knows the extent that they would go out of that desperation.
But the bottom line is women have the same bad advice for dudes.
I disagree with that.
What?
Not all women.
Yeah.
Typically y'all give the same bad advice. If it was your brother, like, well, maybe she just doesn't know how much you like her. Maybe you should just tell her how you really feel.
Well,
Because I've been doing this a long time, and it's like the dude got rejected. She made it clear she wasn't interested. And I was like, did you tell your mother? Did you tell your sister these things? Yeah, but they said, oh, write a letter, send a letter to her, tell her, pour your feelings out, and really give it a shot.
yeah, I wouldn't be asking my mom for advice or telling my brother to go ask my mom for
Well,
advice.
that's you, because y'all are fucking crazy.
But I would hope that my brother would ask me for girl advice, because I would tell him straight up what to do. That's right. Josh, come
Well, she
ask
has
me.
read the book twice, but, even Jennifer, when I talked to Jennifer, has been, she edited this book. She's edited all my books. listened to thousands of hours of me talking and teaching this stuff. And yet, when I sit down and I talk to her, she just goes right back into being a girl. Like all the stuff that she knows just goes right over her head. And she'll tell me about advice that she gives sometimes, and I was like,